And welcome back to OffScreen. And we have all of your deliverables for DVD, Blu Ray, and streaming. So, again, every week we've got you covered with everything you could possibly need. And so, if you are out to get those little shiny discs, here's what we've got coming up for you. Van, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, so we've got a few that we've talked about quite a lot because, films that have come out on digital that have then, we've reviewed them on theatrical, we've reviewed them on digital. They're now making their way to DVD because that's kind of the cycle that we're in while we're on lockdown. Films are going through phases a lot quicker. So The Lighthouse is finally on DVD from this coming Monday, June the 8th. The Lighthouse, Willem Dafoe, Robert Pattinson, black and white, 4:3 ratio, Robert Eggers directing. Genuinely great movie, but one that I think will push people to the edge if they're still stuck at home after several months when they watch it. One that we've not talked about quite as much, though, latest film from Clint Eastwood, starring the likes of John Hamm, Paul Walter Hauser, Olivia Wilde, Sam Rockwell, and Kathy Bates, is Richard Jewell. I know we talked about this was about 4 months ago now when it came out on theatrical.
It's an interesting one for me because this is kind of reflective of lockdown. So how to make a movie about someone who's locked in their house for a number of days, because this is kind of the premise of it. So Richard Jewell, it's about an Atlanta bombing that takes place, and this guy is, I think he's like the caretaker of where a big...
The security guard at the 96 Olympics, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's it. And there was a big concert that was taking place. There was a backpack put under a set of seats, and he notices it and suddenly becomes this hero for saving so many people. But then it turns on its head because of the way he is as a character, and then people start turning on him, and he isolates himself within his home as they are trying to work out whether or not to charge him with this specific crime. And it's an interesting movie. It's something that I think will get your kind of educational taste buds going. Is it a compelling movie? Make your mind up yourself.
The media has portrayed my son as the person who has committed this crime. They have taken all privacy from us. They have taken all peace. The FBI follows his every move and watches my home constantly. And why? My son is innocent. Mr. President, please clear my son's name.
Oscar clip moment for Kathy Bates there if she'd won, let's be honest.
Yeah. I had a lot of love and a lot of not so much love for this movie. I think it's going to be a bit of a Marmite one for a lot of people. I love learning about it first and foremost. It wasn't something that kind of affected me, day in, day out, but and something that I'd known about because of the time frames. We were very young at the time. But actually, the format, the way Clint Eastwood has brought this out, it's not the most exciting premise when you get down to it.
But it is an interesting story, at least, and the performance of Paul Walter Hauser, Sam Rockwell, Kathy Bates are worth the movie. You do just wish that the film was marginally better, but it's not one to avoid. It's perfectly fine, perfectly watchable. What else we got out this week? Sonic the Hedgehog's finally landing on DVD this week. I've watched this with my nephew several times. He thinks it's great. He is, however, 18 months old, so I wouldn't describe him as a discerning palette. Worth watching, though. James Marsden, Ben Schwartz plays motion capture Sonic the Hedgehog, and of course Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik or Dr. Eggman or whatever we're calling him in this version. What else have we got? A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Tom Hanks's drama with Matthew Rhys about a profile piece on Fred Rogers is out on DVD this week as well. I think I really loved that film. I know you had a great time with that one as well. Very heartfelt film, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, isn't it?
Yeah, very, very heartfelt. And again, if you didn't know the story of who Fred Rogers is, it's a nice way to understand this kind of iconic American children's TV presenter. He took on very strong topics like divorce and death and stuff like that, and made it palatable and understanding for children. And I think that was a really incredible skill, and that's why he's much loved. Moving on, though, we've got another movie which is out on DVD and Blu Ray this week, which is called The Rhythm Section. This is Blake Lively, isn't it?
Yeah, did you get the chance to see this one?
No, I didn't.
Right, obviously I didn't because it's distributed by Paramount, but that's neither here nor there. This was Eon's attempt to craft a female-focused answer to the James Bond franchise. Now, obviously, Eon only have one franchise, and that is James Bond. So them doing this was rather notable. The film itself noticeably less notable. It stars Blake Lively as a young woman whose family are killed in an explosion on an aircraft. She discovers that the explosion was not accidental, and she teams up with a former MI6 agent played by Jude Law, who then trains her to go out and exact her vengeance.
You got to get your breathing sorted. Don't panic. Be calm. Be still. You got to get your rhythm section under control, like in music. Remember? Think of your heart as the drums, your breathing as the bass. You get those sorted and you're sorted. Heart as the drums, your breathing as the bass. Put another one in, never less than 2. Good. It's the easy part.
What's the hard part?
Living with it.
Not a really brilliant movie, if I'm honest. It was kind of a slog. What little spark there is to it comes from Jude Law, but I think this is a less successful attempt to do what Atomic Blonde already did a lot better, I think.
Yeah, and also kind of like the Nikita feel to it as well. Like, there's that side of things. Female ninja, the female spy, the female, it's like, I wonder if it's probably pushing the point a little bit too much and therefore it just didn't quite work. Interesting one there to catch if you are interested in that kind of genre. And then finally, Bloodshot is out on DVD and Blu Ray this week. Big smile on your face, man.
Well, it's the kind of movie that I realise a schlocky gormless should have been put direct to DVD in 2005. Clearly the feature debut of an FX artist. And, it's based on a Valiant comic book that nobody's actually read except Vin Diesel, who for some reason believes there's a franchise in it. Then again, Vin Diesel has never opened a mailbox that he didn't think had a franchise in it. So, it's basically a nano-enhanced Superman does Edge of Tomorrow type thing. It's perfectly fine if you want a schlocky sort of 100-minute actioner with some talent that you know and some overladen CG action sequences. Look no further, but don't expect to have your mind blown. Perfectly fine, though.